What's up, Buffalo Bills fans? That didn't take long, did it? Just seems like yesterday I was doing a video, and now here we are. Day after New Year's Day, 2015, and atomic bomb. It, it's really funny as time passes, and it's not even long amounts of time. It's minutes, hours, days. The truth kind of trickles out. And the truth is, whatever we want to make it, to be honest with you, for ourselves, to make ourselves feel comfortable. Um, is generally there's three phases of your line of thinking, my line of thinking, and somewhere in the middle, the truth lays somewhere in there. Myself, reading the various tweets from all the media whores out there, because that's what they've revealed themselves to be over time. And I think that's one of the other beauties of Twitter is these so-called insiders are merely whores for the agents who inform them of their various inside information or maybe their contacts within the organizations. I'm sure a few of those have those, or sources. Their sources. I mean, the coaches and the players have agents, so it's their sources, basically agents, and they're nothing but the whores who get up there and put their face out there and spew the bullshit. Who's ever bullshit they want to preach, whether it's Marrone's camp and Jimmy Sexton's led regime, or it's whoever's. There's a disconnect in this story that doesn't work for me, though. The rub is Marrone pokes his chest out, goes up to the management and says, give me a contract extension. But what's getting a little bit, let's say, lost is, I give my assistants another year too. And the first reports are he might not jive with this new football czar who is, Bill Polian, and his name's been out there for, a few, almost a week and a half. Brandon is clueless in this whole thing. His handpicked coach, his organization, he's no idea what's going on. So, yeah, it's just very funny. The disconnect in the story is he wants no part of this new football czar. So that's why he leaves. But apparently Polian was in line with Marrone, was fine with Orton. Orton retired. Marrone goes up to the management, the new ownership, the Peguls, and says, give me more money. I'm St. Doug. I'm 9-7. Oh my God. You know how hard that was? So everybody is running around with their own agenda, just trying to get Uncle Terry to write them a big fat check. And nobody is in what Russ Brandon likes to refer to as lockstep. And the funny part of the stories that trickle out after Polian says, well, I don't want no part of this, is that's obvious that now that he doesn't want no part of it is, a quarterback that he was sort of comfortable with is there, or was there, but retired because he got his little chunk change from both Dallas and the Bills, and I'm like, okay, I'm done here. No more. I don't have to slide down anymore and not have to risk this old rickety body for a first down or anything like that. If my mission's done, I got this guy winning record. I could care less here. Marrone is like, okay, this is as high as my value is going to go here. There's not that many other big candidates out there in his mind. I seemingly have done the impossible. I've attained a winning record with the Bills, and the national media that is run by a lot by his agent have backed that theory. I mean, there's been few, some local reporters like Manish Mehta here in New York who says, well, outside of the Jets, who'd this guy beat? How good is the Bills' offense? It's sad. It was the tweet where sleazy part of the Jets coaching search, consultants and Syracuse grads who are Jet beat writers are pushing for Marrone's hire, as well as Sexton. Okay, and Woody is a clueless owner himself. He's been in the league over 15 years, doesn't know anything. He has to hire Corn and Ferry to run his search, and they brought him back Idzik. Corn and Ferry brought the Bears back Emery. They're both fired. So, yeah, it's Marrone saying he wants the contract. He wants the contract for himself and his assistants. But Polian's okay with Marrone. But everything's apparently in place. So the rub is he comes out and says, well, I'm decided to stay at ESPN. I don't want to go with the Bills. I'm going to stay with ESPN. Okay. And the Vic Carucci story reads as he didn't want to do any heavy lifting. So apparently this was just a money grab that the Bills have avoided in the biggest of ways. A money grab by Marrone. You get off cheap with the $4 million, which I understand the clause. But then again, Brandon comes out with a big black eye here because this is your guy and you had no idea this was going to go on. You think he was just going to sit pat? No, he went up there and tried to strong arm the ownership. And this is a guy you've championed as this changing this nebulous thing called culture. Meanwhile, everybody in the building hates him, apparently. You have players tweeting out Happy New Year within minutes of him announcing, well, the national media announcing that he is leaving, and then he sends a mass tweet to his players. So how does that sound, Bills fans? Guy on there preaching family, Bills family, discipline and trust and all this other rhetorical, repetitive coach speak nonsensical BS, and now it's all revealed as BS. The guy had no long-term vision with the Bills. His whole goal in all of this was he saw a weak organization with, at the time, that had a very weak ownership, had no ownership, had a caretaker. He went there and exploited the situation, made power plays, alienated people in the building, rubbed everybody the wrong way. And when he saw a chance to get out, which he was going to take anyway, he took it because his out clause had been activated because of the ownership change. He saw a chance to grab more money, then go get more money from his new job because he's St. Doug. He won with the Bills. So Brandon's standing there with his dick in his hand now, looking real stupid. Polian was just going to go to One Bills Drive, probably sit in Buddy Nix's old office and do nothing. Football czar. What is that? This boggles my mind. These organizations, like the Bears, for example, the charter franchise. Virginia McCaskey's 90. All right, George Halas, he's probably spinning in his grave. I'm sure. The Jets, Woody Johnson's a billionaire. A billionaire. You've invested billions. You own Johnson & Johnson. You own the Jets. You got your new stadium. Whatever. And you don't know the NFL? You have to hire consulting firms? You have to hire 70-year-old men who've been out of the league for half or over a decade to tell you who the the smart people in football are, that the people that are going to put the what kind of dysfunctional crap is that? I don't see. I don't like that. The idea of this football czar, I mean, just Polian's name coming in was okay. A certain segment of the fan base would have gotten a buzz off that, but at the end of the day, how much substance was there to it, or is it? Ernie Accorsi, Ron Wolf, Charlie Casserly, Polian, 70-year-old men. They were successful 20 years ago, maybe. Now all of a sudden, I mean, let's be honest. All this information about personnel, draft, it's at the ready for us. They act like this information is proprietary only to them. Oh my God, we go out and scout these players. This information is just no, no. Me, you, anybody watching this video, even if you're not a Bills fan, a lot of you could have taken a Streets and Smiths or Linda's football scouting, or have gone on to any one of these various 1,000,001 scouting websites there are, Rivals, whatever, and drafted players from them. Every college football game is on TV. It's not like you only watch Notre Dame and Penn State anymore, like back in the day. You could see every game. Watch games on your phone. You can watch games on your iPad or whatever tablet you have. Football czar. My God. What's a football czar? What are we in Russia? Is there a football czarina? What a joke. I really think these people did the Bills a favor. In my own deluded mind as a Bills fan, I would love to think Pegula watches one of my videos. Or even, I really hope he watched this one. And say, you know what? Maybe this kid's right. Or maybe you know what? Maybe he already knows this. Man's a billionaire. He's obviously smarter than me. Obviously. But from a sense of, these people saved you money. They saved you a headache. And you're the one person who has remained quiet and silent in all of this, who hasn't said a peep, whose name's been bantied about out there as a guy that maybe should be out for making the Watkins trade. He has an agent. Nothing. Whaley, not a peep. All the noise, Marrone's people, Brandon backing Marrone, Polian, back and forth. Whaley? Nothing. Crickets. That says a lot. He's got a few bona fides. He's infused this team with some talent. Watkins trains. It's not Aaron Maben. It's not Derek Dockery. It's not Langston Walker. It's not Mike Williams. What are we talking about here? John Guy was with the team forever. Modrak was with the team forever. Now all of a sudden we have these, oh my God, they traded a first-round pick for fucking Lossman. John McCargo, for Christ's sake. And now we're getting all our panties in a feather? For a guy that might actually play because we think we could have waited and got this guy? It's kind of like the manual thing. Oh, we didn't have to draft him here. We could have waited here. I'm telling you. It's just, I think without even doing it, however it happened, however it went down, whatever side of the fence you landed on, or you do land on with this story, I think the Bills are better off today not having any of these people in the building. Nick's being gone, Marrone opting out, Polian choosing to stay at ESPN, Brandon looking just as stupid as ever was in the middle of all this. Bills are better for it. Better for it. Now, like I've stated months ago, or about a month ago, the owners, the owners need to go now take ownership of this. Unlike before, where there was a caretaker, unlike before, where we had an absentee owner, unlike before, where we had an old meddling owner because he watched, at the time, smart football people for the time trying to do it the right way, and he thought he wanted to put his 2 cents in and do it his way. And instead, he alienated and ran them all away, and we've now seen the mess that we have now. It's systemically just all boom today, now, January 1st, 2015, actually, I'm sorry, December 31st, 2014, it all just boom, blew up. Because it's just constant mistake after mistake after mistake. Now, what we're seeing is this poacher, Marrone, trying to find another weak organization because that's what's out there now. They're desperate. Yeah, they're desperate. Hiring consulting firms, running off winning coaches because they can't put their egos in check. They want the credit. They want to stand out there and bloviate and poke their chest out and say, well, the team wins because of me, not because of the coach. I picked the players. And then the coach is like, well, I put these guys in positions to win. I motivate them every day. I practice them. I drill them. I coach them. I school them. What? I drill them, and you pick players? You go around and watch guys run around in shorts? I can do that on my TV. I can see if a guy sucks or he doesn't suck. You know? But either way, we see that he's just looking for another position where he can grab some money in positions where there's no GM. Potentially no GM in Oakland. They still have a head coach, but he hasn't been fired yet. But he probably will be. Jets don't have GM. Bears don't have a GM. Atlanta's GM is on shaky ground. Right? Okay? And San Francisco's GM and owner basically were telling everybody they were going to fire the coach before down was played. And Marrone is going to go to these situations with his volatile little personality and his sensitive nature, where he cannot be criticized for anything because he's Saint Doug. He's going to come here and handle the New York media? Really? Wait till he does some of the things he does and says some of the things he says if he's hired by the Jets. Wait till the morning after when Boomer and Carton, or mostly Craig Carton, gets a hold of him. Wait till in the afternoon Mike Francesa gets a hold of him. Because it's kind of funny that the two teams that the Bills have scored the most points on in Marrone's tenure are the Jets and the Falcons, both looking for head coaches. That's kind of funny. He's 2 games under 500 with no playoff appearance, and he was 500 in one of the, inarguably, the weakest major conference in college football. But yet he turned the program around great. Could have they gotten any worse? I mean, what, 500 record? You know, Shangri-La, I guess. So, you know, just like most saints or saint-like people, or people that are self-appointed saints reveal themselves to be over time, are merely false prophets. And that's what we had. That's what Doug Marrone amounted to at the end of the day, because everything he came in and said, everything they pounded their table for about being innovative and being cutting edge and pushing forward and culture change and discipline and structure, it was all rhetoric, it was all talk, and when push came to shove at the end of the day, all it was a bunch of self-serving BS that revolved around themselves. It's about me. It's not about any of this. It's about me. And you know what? Peace. You won't be missed at all. And we're better for it. If not short term, definitely long term. The old arcane football guy probably sitting in an office just, doing what? Insider trading with one of his sons, maybe. Dennis in Tennessee, Chris in Jacksonville, or whatever, picking his nose, whatever. I don't know. Bill Polian was a good idea maybe 15 years ago. Sorry. He seemed very okay with Marrone, and he was okay with Orton. So it's a three-phase thing, just like life does. 3 phases. Orton shoe drops. Bill should be happy. Ooh, we keep our $5.5 million and the $7 million he's on the books for next year. Thank you. Marrone walks out the door with only the $4 million he's owed this year, and not the four. If they would have fired him, the next 4 after, bye bye. No old man that's just gonna come in and leave everything status quo because he doesn't want to do any heavy lifting. Great. It's a good day. It's a good day. It also shows he didn't want to make any offensive changes. Control freak. Wanted everything to stay the same because he didn't want to give up any power. They might have been in line with keeping him. It would have been like, but you got to make some staff changes on your offense. We're terrible. We don't score points. We don't score touchdowns. And he was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. I want an extension for those guys. Didn't I tell you? They were like, okay, I think this conversation's over. I would like to think that's how it went down. They were like, okay, we're done. Peace. So yeah. All right, Bills fans, we're better for it. Onward and upward. Just like I said in my one video, the Phoenix, it has to burn down. It has to burn down in order for it to what? Rise up again. You don't need to go into the past for Polian. You don't need people like Brandon, Marrone, or any of his lackeys to keep us in neutral. No thank you. You guys have a good New Year, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon.